What chapter is the best one in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door? Well, today we're going to be ranking each of them and answering that question because we're ranking them from worst to best. Oh yeah. We're not going to be including the prologue and the final chapter. The prologue is just a quick prologue, there's not much to it to really say, and the final chapter is just a big huge dungeon, and honestly I have not more to say about it other than that, so there you go. So anyways, let's get right into the ranking now, guys. The worst chapter in Thousand Year Door would have to be chapter 2, and here's the thing with this chapter, it's just boring. The story is just lame, and you really get to go from one point to the other with some backtracking, and everything is just boring, man. Flurrie just kind of sucks, and as a partner, and she doesn't really do much for the story, let's be honest. The Puny guys are just plot devices, and they have some okay moments here and there. And the tree is kind of cool, looks kind of cool, but like, it's just so boring to go through. And I do not enjoy the puzzles you have to do with Flurrie. Those are just the worst. Having to maintain them is just such a pain. Especially when you have literally one of them that just gets stuck off screen or something. You have to go mess around, trying to find them. It just sucks, man. I don't enjoy this one that much. And to top it all off, the Crystal Star ability you get, it's just garbage. Chapter 7 would be much higher than other chapters, but here's the thing. It has a huge problem, and that's not the canon. It is the backtracking you have to do when you're looking for General White. This just sucks. There's literally nothing enjoyable doing it. It takes forever, it's a huge pain, and when you find the asshole, he's just asleep in the town, and he's asleep and asleep and asleep. It takes forever to wake him up. Just such a pain. And the part where you should get out of the cannon is pretty awesome, I gotta say. I love that entire moment. And the part on the moon with the X-Naut base and all that, that's really cool. Just a big dungeon, really. There's not much to say about it. Boss fight's kind of cool, I guess. Not really, it's kind of lame. I love the question and the puzzles you have to do through it. And the ending with Tech is actually really cool. So it has some good moments to it, but the beginning part just really brings it down. Chapter 1 is the easy part of the game, and almost like a tutorial, or just like the beginning one, pretty much. But anyways, who cares? It still has a lot of fun aspects to it, like the blueprint of the fight. That is pretty cool. And the underground part, and the easiest quiz in the world. But that's just so much fun. And there's a bit of story with the Koops, your partner that you get in it, and getting a new partner is pretty cool. You get some new abilities there, and seeing Koops, go through his progress, character development, and all that, becoming a man. It's kind of awesome. And the entire part in the castle is pretty cool. It's a bit simple. None of the puzzles are really anything that really makes you challenge yourself or anything like that, but they're kind of fun in that. And the boss fight can be a bit tedious because of that gimmick you got to use to take them down and all that, and it's kind of dumb, I'm not going to lie. But you know what? Aside from that, it's pretty cool. It's just a very bland one is the thing about it. That's why it's not rated very high, but still fun though. It's a great start to the game, a really good start. Chapter 4 is a great chapter, and honestly would probably be the best one, but it has one major issue that really brings it down, and that would have to be the backtracking. And yeah, this is just awful in this chapter, man. You have to go back from the castle like 1,000 times. It just sucks. It's not fun one bit. It's the biggest issue it has. Everything else about it is awesome. For one of the characters, they're just awesome. I love Doopliss. He's funny and cool at the same time. Though he can take over your abilities from Mario and just steal his entire personality, it's kind of creepy and awesome at the same time. And his song just slaps. It's such a good song. Vivian, great character, finding their place with Mario instead of being treated like shit. And the part with the birds is funny where you gotta listen to them as Vivian when you sneak underneath in Vivian and eavesdrop on them. I like that. It's just funny to see the stupid things the birds are talking about. And like the part with the everyone turning into cows and having massive anxieties about it, it's awesome. It's creepy, but it's awesome at the same time. The only thing I never understood is why don't they just go down the pipe that's over there and just peace out, you know what I mean? But anyways, it's a pretty great chapter. Just the backtracking really brings it down. Chapter 6 is one of my personal favorites. Some people say that it's pretty boring with the amount of nothing that you do in the first half of the game, but I could not disagree more. This chapter is awesome. The beginning, where you gotta solve the crime, is a ton of fun, and I really enjoyed it. Plus, it's funny. The characters are awesome too. You get a reward for bringing back the non-mandatory items. It's just awesome. I love the silliness of it all. The song when you get to play, and the guy who thinks you're Luigi, and then there's the fat guy, and just all the mysteries. It's just a great time, man. Then, when you go on to the part where you go into the abandoned train station, I love it. I love exploring this places and abandoned places in general, in real life or in video games. It's pretty cool. It gives the battles that you were craving from the first half of the game. Plus, you get to see the creepy thing that you fight against later on. And then the part where those creepy things take over the train, that's so intense, man. It's actually like when you're walking around and no one's around. You just wonder what the fuck's going on. And so you're like, okay, I'll talk to the conductor. And then all of a sudden they just swarm the trains, like, Jesus. Right? And then at the end, where you get the secret Luigi badge at the mansion, and it's a pretty chill way to get the Crystal Star. You can just run right to the back, or you can fight all the boos if you really want to. You can do whatever you want to. It's pretty sweet. It's a great chapter. I really enjoy it. One of my favorites. Not my favorite, but one of the best. I think it doesn't show in your partner. It's just Mario. Chapter 3 used to be my personal favorite, but as time has went on, this is not my favorite, and there is one chapter I have come to enjoy more. However, that does not mean that I do not like Chapter 3 and do not think it's a good chapter. I still love it, to be quite honest. The fights are all fun, even the first couple of them, having a secret Bowser fight in the later end is pretty awesome. And it just, the fact that you're just fighting the whole time sounds dumb and boring, but it's a lot of fun. And you gotta solve the mystery later on about what's happening to the missing fighters in the past, of what happened at this place here and where the crystal star is and all that. It's just awesome, man. And then you find out what's really going on with Grubba using the thing for basically immortality. Man, it's awesome. The good song he has, it's just so cool. And then that part where you see the guys all flattened out because they got caught by Grubba when they weren't supposed to go into the arena or whatever. Man, it's intense. It feels really good to take them down near their end too. Right, just a great one overall. Then you got that Sasori ending where she gets to see her brother again. What a great chapter. Awesome. The best chapter in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, in my opinion, would have to be Chapter 5. And there are so many reasons for that. You go through the amazing story with Bobby to start off with, and his wife and all that. Then you have Flavio, who's a great character, kind of an ass, but he's awesome too. And I love how Lord Crump breaks the fourth wall, trying to spoil who he is to Mario. It's dumb, but it's funny. And the fact that he's just there and nobody notices that, you look kind of familiar, you talk kind of familiar, it's kind of funny too. And you got the logs where you find out who was doing them later on. It was actually Flavio at the end. That was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. And Bobby's a pretty cool partner, not the best one, but he's still a cool one nonetheless. It gives you a lot of different places you can explore because of him. You get the curse ability that you get more badges and rogue port and stuff like that, so that's kind of cool, right? The puzzles in the dungeon is great too. That dungeon is a really fun dungeon, I'm gonna say. The song's a bit lame, but going through it, it's just there's so many fun puzzles to do, and it's actually fun to go through this dungeon, unlike some other ones in this game, right? And the boss fight at the beginning against Cortez, that was just so cool. What a great boss fight. He's such a cool character. And then he turns out to be super chill after you beat him. He's just like, oh, you just want the crystal star? I don't care about this thing. Fuck it. And then then Flavio does his own thing where he's like, I'm gonna give up my most prized possession. That's character development, baby. And that ending moment where where the X-Nauts fight the ghost and the toads and whatever else, man, that is so epic. So awesome. And the backtracking is a bit lame in this chapter, I will say. And the final fight against Crump is really lame as well. But that's about the only two downsides it really has. Other than that, it's a great chapter and my personal favorite in Thousand Year Door. Well, that is my ranking of all the chapters in Paper Mario The Thousand Door from worst to best. Let me know what you guys think of it down in the comments below, and we will be sure to see you all on the next video.